Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another episode of Through the Lens. It's been a little while since I've done a Through the Lens episode, but today I wanted to do a Through the Lens, not because I went out and I did a videography job that I want to talk about, but there is loads of those coming up. I mean, we're getting into the warm season around here. Summertime is coming, and that's when all the events pop up, and that's when a videographer, a local videographer like myself, definitely gets busy. I've already got things booked for summertime and different things coming up. I've already talked to loads of people have contacted me about covering their events and some races and things like that, doing drone footage and video footage, doing edits and things. And I've got events coming up, and this is the time of year where a videographer really starts to get busy. With the events popping up, people want a video shot, drone footage shot, whatever. This is a busy time of year for a videographer. But what I wanted to talk about was, I've talked to people, they said, how'd you get into this line of work? Or what made you want to get into this line of work? Or how can you afford to get into this line of work? And here's a couple answers. First of all, the reason I got into this line of work is because of just a hobby. I was a drone pilot. I flew drones recreational. I thought it was fun. I really much enjoyed it. I did my own YouTube videos, and I used my drone to add some flair to my YouTube videos. I was asked by a friend, who is definitely a friend now. I was asked by my buddy Zach. At the time, I didn't even know him. I knew his family. I knew his brother fairly well. Both of his brothers, I didn't know him very well, and he asked me if I would shoot some drone footage of his father's estate sale. They was having an auction, and that kind of led me. That kind of led Zach into asking me if I'd be interested in shooting video for him, because he was a photographer, and there was times that he needed a videographer, and so he asked me if I would be interested. I absolutely said, yeah, I would be interested. That got me into wanting to, I love shooting videos anyway. Like I said, I already had a YouTube channel. I was already flying my drones to add flair to my YouTube channel. I was already shooting YouTube videos, and I was already doing a videography-esque type of thing. I had a passion for shooting video, for editing video, for being creative in that aspect, and I wanted to do it anyway. So it was a no-brainer when he said, hey, I would like to have you come shoot video with me, and that got the ball rolling, and that got me and Zach. Me and Zach became friends. We decided to start a company, and then we both got kind of we're part of a company called Mega Events now. He is one of the photographers for Mega Events. I am the videographer for Mega Events, and things just started. The ball just started rolling. Now, how do you afford to be a videographer? Well, let me put it to you this way. It can be affordable. If you can only afford a $100 point-and-shoot camera, if you can only afford to use your cell phone, do that. That's fine. Do that. Because to go out and buy a $15,000 8K camera or more, it could be 30 grand for an 8K camera. And yes, 8K does exist. Ultra HD far surpasses 4K video. But I'll tell you that starting out, I started out with a Canon HS50XS, and not a very high quality camera. That's what I shot video on, and a GoPro. I started out with those two cameras, and I shot John Jansky doing a speed painting at Ace Frehley concert. And the footage turned out fine, and the video turned out fine. I did an interview with John Jansky on my iPad. So starting out, I didn't spend a lot of money. I have spent a little money in camera gear simply because I love technology, and I love things like that, and I did want to have a little bit better equipment, but it's not necessary. If you want to get started in videography, just use what you have. If you can only afford a $110 point and shoot, grab that and shoot your video, because here's the thing. What you're going to do is tell a story for your client. You're basically shooting footage of your subject, of your client, and you're telling their story through video and a nice edit. As long as you're telling a good story, it doesn't really matter what you're shooting it on. Now, I understand quality of video is very important, especially if you're trying to do it at a professional level. It's very important, and that's why I bought some equipment. But if you're just wanting to go out and shoot video, and if you're just wanting to get started into videography, Start out with whatever you have. Show people what you can do with what you have. Because it is about the story you tell. It's about the creative aspect you put behind your creation. When you're going out to shoot a video and you're telling this story and you're editing this in a way that's very, very creative and very eye-catching, your abilities are what's going to get you jobs, which will eventually get you into being a videographer and able to buy better equipment. Quality is going to mean something when you get to a professional level, but starting out, man, shoot on whatever you have. Show them that you're creative. Show them you can tell a story with a cell phone and a point and shoot camera, and do that. Because to think that you have to spend a lot of money to get into this line of work is nonsense. You don't. I used what I had when I got into this line of work. I used just what I had. I had a GoPro. I had a very low level camera, and I had a cell phone. And those are the things I honestly used. And I had a video editor. Pretty much, you don't need a lot of money to get into this line of work if that's what you want to do. And the reason I address that question is because that question was asked to me. I got into it because a friend of mine had a lot of connections and seen potential in me, which I thank him dearly for that. I thank him for giving me the opportunity. It was very nice of him to do that, and very nice of him to invite me into his circle of people, and have enough faith in me that he would invite me into his circle of people, and allow me to mingle with them and become friends with them, and then allow them to literally put me to work. So yeah, I will say that I got lucky in that sense. Not everybody's probably going to have that opportunity handed right to them. Not everybody's going to have an opportunity of someone who like Zach, who has a circle of people that had the ability to put me to work right away, and to put me into some events and some jobs that were pretty impressive. Not everybody's going to be given that opportunity. Not everybody's going to, meet someone with those abilities. But still that, I mean, as awesome as that was, and as much as that probably really helped me out, I work hard at it. I put a lot of effort into it, and I really want to give someone, the client, a good final product. I'm my worst critic, and people say, well, you shouldn't be your worst critic, but that keeps me on my toes. When I critique my work, when I look at my work, and I want to do better, or I feel I can do better, that keeps me pushing to do better, and in my opinion, that's good for me. So yeah, it may be a hard thing to get into without the help of someone who's already been in it for so many years. Zach's been in this business for over 20 years, probably close to 30 years maybe. I'm not exactly sure. So he had connections and things that really, I mean, it's like I've been in the business for 20 or 30 years in the way of people and connections, not in the way of experience quite yet. I've still got a lot to learn, but I've got the drive to want to learn. I've got loads to learn. I've so much to learn. I've just fallen into a lucky situation, but I'm willing to work at it, and I'm willing to do my best, and I'm willing to keep advancing and pushing forward. But it's like I've just through connections and people, it's like I've been in the business for a very long time when I haven't. Zach took the pain of 20 plus years of working yourself into a career, and he's taken all that pain and bullshit out, and made it easier for me, which I will thank him. I mean, I don't thank him every day, but in my heart, I thank him always for the opportunity. And I thank all the people that I'm involved with now, and all the people that have befriended me and seen potential in me and wants to work with me. I appreciate every bit of it. I will never take it for granted, ever. But it's just hard work. It's hard work, dedication. It's want to. It's having some skill and some talent and some artistic vision. I mean, it takes all that stuff to become a videographer. So if you want to get into the line of work, if you really want to, you can do it. First of all, I believe, me personally, I believe that I can do anything I want to do. Sometimes that's a problem because I really believe that I can just do whatever I want. But in the way of that, if you want to be a videographer, it's as simple as this. Be honest with people. If they say, well, what kind of equipment are you using? Say, listen, I've got a cell phone, I've got a point and shoot, and I've got, I've got another camera. I can make it look good. I can upgrade the quality in editing, and I can give you a nice edit and a very creative edit. Just give me the opportunity to show you what I can do. Be upfront and honest with people. Don't go in there trying to sound like a professional when you're not a professional. Don't go into it like, hey, I just say, hey, I'm just trying to get started. I'm just trying to get started. If you give me the opportunity to show you what I can do with this little amount of equipment, imagine what I can do in a few years when I've got some pretty nice equipment. And do it that way. I mean, if you do have the means of buying some professional equipment and you want to get started in videography, then do it. I mean, it's, but it's all on how you use the equipment. You can have a $30,000 8K camera, and if you don't know how to use it, it's pointless. It's pointless to even have it. It's knowing your equipment, it's knowing your camera, and knowing your gear, and knowing your editors, and always thinking about the next scene, always thinking about the next frame, always thinking about the next clip. What are you going to do next? And then I'm always running that edit through my head and how I want this final product to look, and keeping that in mind as I'm actually out in the field shooting the video. So it's just first of all a passion for it, which I have, and I got lucky, honestly. That's the honest truth. I got very lucky. Someone who wants to get into the world of videography, somebody aside from myself, may have to work very, very, very hard for many years to get to where I'm at now, which I really didn't have to work very hard for many years, because I met a friend that was willing to advance me without the 20 years of going through the field and the struggle and all that. Now, believe me, there is still struggles. Believe me, I'm out working, and I'm out in the field, I'm out shooting, and I'm learning, and it's a process, and there's still struggles, and there's been ups and downs, and there's been things that have not felt so great about being a videographer, and there's things that feel fantastic about being a videographer. When someone tells you they love your work, when someone tells you that your work is awesome, that feels very good, because you do put a lot of work into it. Being a videographer is not an easy job. When you're out on a job and you're shooting video, wow, man, there's a lot of work involved in that, and there's a lot of you can grab your camera and you can set it up on a back wall and you can turn it on and just sit there, and you can shoot a video that way. But I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of jobs after that. Maybe it all depends. It all depends. I mean, maybe you can, but in my opinion, to be right up in there, to be shooting, like if you're shooting a concert, to be getting close-ups of the guitarist and close-ups and up and down and walking around and being energetic and getting those shots and trying to also trying to stay out of people's way, and also or even when you're out at an event, and you got a drone in the air and a camera sitting on a tripod and you're carrying a shoulder rig around, and you're getting those shots in multiple ways. It just takes a lot of energy and a lot of want to. So hopefully that answers the question. I mean, I kind of get lost in the question, but the moral to the story is, no, you do not have to spend a lot of money to get into videography. Yes, you do have to work your tail off. You have to have a passion. You have to have creative vision, and all those things will play a part in being a quality videographer. Am I a quality videographer? The quality of my work is okay, but again, I'm my worst critic. So some people will tell me that's awesome. Myself, there is loads of room for improvement as far as I'm concerned. Tons of room to improve, and the quality of my videos video, in the creative aspect of my video, I have loads of room to improve. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I'm happy to say that I study everything videography. I read every article I can find videography. I read up on cameras. I read up on everything videography, and I try to learn new techniques and new ways of making my videos better. And it takes that drive and that want to succeed, I think, to succeed in the world of videography. There's videographers out there that are beyond amazing, that blow me away, but that also have great camera gear. But again, eventually I will get there. Eventually I will be super comfortable behind the camera, but I hope I never get to the point where I think my videos are perfect, because I always want to improve. Technology is always changing. Things are always getting better. There's always new ideas, and to keep fresh new ideas and keep striving for better is good. So there you have it. There you have it. And a shout out to my mother-in-law. Her name is Barb. She is obviously my wife's mother. She bought me a couple gifts. And I just want to show them off because they're this cool. I'm a videographer. I use a DSLR to shoot my videos. So there's a lot of different lenses and things that we switch out when we're DSLR videographers. We switch lenses all the time. We're using wide angles and 15 by 55s or 30 by 75s or 18. But we're switching lenses all the time. Photographers as well. And what she has bought me is, this looks like a lens, correct? This looks like something I would stick on my camera. These caps, look, I have these caps. These caps, I have these all over the place. This one naturally does not come off. What this is, it is a coffee mug. I've seen these before. I didn't expect it. She got this as an early birthday gift for me. My birthday isn't until June, but she bought me 2 of these. So I have a spare. But if that is not cool, it has the autofocus button on it. It has the image stabilizer button on it. This is a 24 by 105 millimeter lens, and it's cool. It's cool. It really is cool. So shout out to you, Barb. I know you watch my videos. I don't know if you watch through the lens, but I know you watch my videos. And Barb's a great woman. She's someone who can't get out of her house much. I'm not going to get into her personal life, but she don't get out much. She's got some health issues, we'll say, and we're always praying for her and wishing the best for her. And I do thank you, Barb, for the gift. It does mean a lot to me, and this is about the perfect gift you could get me. And this seemed like the perfect time to give you a shout out for it. And I know you don't want a shout out for buying me a gift, but I wanted to give you a shout out for it because it's a Through the Lens episode, and you bought me a lens coffee mug. Not 1, but 2. I thank you. I love you. You're an awesome woman, and I appreciate the gift. So there you go, guys. That is another Through the Lens. I dropped my other coffee mug. That is another Through the Lens episode. And it's just answering a question of how I got started into the business, how I afford to be in the business, and I forget what the other question was. Hopefully I addressed that question. Anyway, thank you guys for coming to the channel. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Through the Lens, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm going to go put some coffee in this.